Hello everyone. Today is Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. It is time for us to come together once again to review and understand the Dhamma. The Dhamma is the liberation from form and mental phenomena. The goal that the wise ones teach us is to bring the mind to awakening. The purpose of all Dhamma is to point the mind toward awakening from form and mental phenomena, because the form and mental phenomena created by the mind are not the mind itself. It is like a great tree, such as an avocado tree. The tree grows beautifully in order to produce fruit, and that fruit has the purpose of creating a seed. The seed is the true essence. It is the thing that contains all knowledge within it and is able to continue growing into a new tree. The peel and the flesh of the fruit are not the goal that we truly want. They are coverings that protect and nourish the seed. They are only tools that allow the seed to become complete. The seed is not the peel and it is not the flesh. The peel and the flesh are merely supporting elements that help pass completeness on to the seed. Even the tree itself is only another tool that allows the seed to come into being in its fullness. In the same way, form and mental phenomena are only tools. They are coverings that nourish and support the mind, but they are not the true essence of the mind. Therefore, the purpose of the Dhamma is to allow the mind to awaken out of these things so that it may reach that true essence itself. Who would know that a tiny seed could create so much flesh to nourish all living things, and could even create a peel to wrap around that flesh? The whole world is the same. There must be an originating essence that gives rise to it, just like the seed that is the source of a great tree. Our mind is the same. The mind creates form and mental phenomena as tools for shaping and gathering all knowledge into the mind. When the mind has learned completely until it fully realizes that all things, both form and mental phenomena, arise only in order to dissolve away, form is the body born in order to break apart and dissolve. Mental phenomena are sounds, thoughts, emotions, whether happiness, suffering, peace, confusion, or neutrality, all arise in order to dissolve. Even every memory from birth until the present arises in order to dissolve. Even this very perception arises in order to dissolve. When the mind sees this truth, the mind will stop relying on form and mental phenomena and will gather all knowledge back into the mind itself, no longer needing to depend on form and mental phenomena anymore. This is the purpose of the Dhamma, to see this truth. We are mind, a pure nature, with no form, no mental phenomena, no shape, no merit, no sin, no good, no evil. It is only pure purity itself, the most subtle essence, where nothing else can exist within it. It is like all the knowledge of a great tree being gathered into a tiny seed. That seed contains within itself everything, both the peel and the flesh, and that seed itself is the great tree. Our mind is that same pure essence. In the beginning, I did not understand what the wise ones had realized, what the deathless state was, what liberation from the cycle of birth and death truly meant, and how one could know that suffering had ended permanently. Free from what and gone where? I once thought it might be some kind of state somewhere in space, something existing in some place beyond reach, impossible to explain or access, because it was beyond the capacity of understanding I had at that time. But when awakening occurred, and there was direct realization of the pure essence, when the five aggregates broke apart in fine detail, it became clear that form and mental phenomena were not us. Then a question arose: how could this be explained, and what could be done so that people would truly see that this body is not who we are? We make so many efforts through practice, through contemplating the body as merely the four elements of earth, water, wind, and fire, through abandoning every kind of attachment. Yet no matter how much effort was made, the sense of me still remained. Until one day there was the seeing of one's own thoughts, seeing the voice that had been speaking inside all the time, seeing that this voice itself was what created every story. When this was seen, understanding arose that the body once held to as me had never truly come from us at all. The sense of me that had been clung to collapsed. All the understanding that had once existed about being a self, being a human being, having a past, having a story, was seen to be nothing more than thought. Then the realization arose that this was the world of assumptions, and everything that had ever been clung to was merely something constructed by thought. When this was seen, another question arose. Then how does one go beyond assumptions? So the watching continued. Thoughts were seen working all the time, from waking until sleep. It was seen that thoughts were not a thinker, but only movements arising on their own, vibrations, sounds, images, emotions, endlessly appearing and disappearing. And when it became clear that thoughts were not us, it was discovered that there was still another thing that was knowing, the knower. But when looking more deeply, it became clear that the knower was also functioning on its own. Thoughts arose on their own. Knowing arose on its own. Then another layer of seeing appeared, that there was another kind of nature revealing itself, bright, joyful, pure, without form. This nature saw both thoughts and the knower functioning like machines operating continuously, and it saw that none of it was us. Then understanding arose that all things that appear, whether thoughts or the knower, are merely mechanisms functioning according to nature, not a self, not us. One machine performs the function of knowing, another machine performs the function of thinking and creating mental phenomena. They continue functioning in this way all the time. The body is like a factory with machines operating continuously, but those machines are not us. Another nature appeared, bright, joyful, without form, something that could be recognized as the true essence, yet without any characteristic that could be clung to. It was seen that the knower knows on its own, and thoughts think on their own. Both function together like automatic machines. When this was seen, there was complete acceptance that neither the knower nor thoughts were us. Ignorance collapsed. All attachment came to an end. Only an indescribable freedom remained. Then there was awakening to the understanding that this is purity itself, and the realization that the wise ones are this very pure nature. A mind awakened to its own pure essence is free from all doubt. It sees clearly that form and mental phenomena are truly not us. Even while speaking, even while moving, there is no longer any feeling that there is a me there. A mind with wisdom no longer clings to any condition at all, whether thoughts or knowing, because it sees that none of it is us. Whether being carried away or awakening, neither is us. No sense of self remains in any condition anymore. Only purity remains. The Dhamma is the process in which the mind creates mental phenomena, thoughts, feelings, emotions, memories, and then clings to form, the body, until fabrication becomes complete. This is the starting point of the mind lacking wisdom, and therefore having to depend on form and mental phenomena. Being born into this world is for the purpose of relying on form and mental phenomena in order to learn the truth that this world is merely a world of assumptions, a world filled with constant change, endlessly arising and dissolving. When the truth is seen that form and mental phenomena are not us, the mind immediately realizes that it is another kind of nature altogether, something that is not form and not mental phenomena. This awakened mind is a mind with wisdom, an essence that fully knows the truth of itself. Once awakened, it no longer relies on form and mental phenomena. This is the purpose of studying the Dhamma and practicing the Dhamma, to see that we are not form and mental phenomena. Or it could be said that we were never truly born into this world at all. We are the state of not being anything at all. When this understanding is transmitted, many listeners are able to awaken very quickly. Simply by listening to the Dhamma, they are able to reach the truth, because it is a direct pointing into the Dhamma itself without leaving room for doubt. All the countless teachings of Dhamma can be reduced to simply awakening within and seeing Dhamma within Dhamma, seeing the truth of non-self, that there is no self at all. It is something very simple. When it is clearly seen, it becomes known that the mind is a pure essence, completely free from suffering, and it is seen that all the aggregates once clung to as self never truly had any self-existing reality at all. The minds of most living beings are still blind because they have not yet awakened to the Dhamma. The minds that have truly awakened are very few, but when people listen to the Dhamma and begin to understand, the mind gradually becomes clearer, brighter, and more pure. The purpose of the Dhamma is to lead all minds beyond the cycle, beyond the endless round of birth and death. Once awakened to the pure essence, one naturally becomes established in sharing the Dhamma so that others may awaken as well, by pointing clearly to the truth of non-self. This Dhamma is the seeing of Dhamma within Dhamma, seeing that form and mental phenomena are non-self, that nothing is us. Even the sounds that arise are not us. Even perception is not us. And even the self itself does not truly exist. When nothing is anything at all, suffering cannot exist. The cause of suffering comes to an end. The cause of birth comes to an end. What remains is only purity, existing without change. This is the purpose of sharing the Dhamma, to reveal clearly that form and mental phenomena are not us. Freedom from suffering is connected to seeing the truth of what is presently arising. Any mind that still clings to things that change will inevitably suffer, because we are mind, not form, not mental phenomena. When there is attachment to knowing itself, which is also something changing, suffering naturally appears. It is like clinging to a person who changes, or clinging to things that are impermanent, such as a house that is built and must eventually decay. If it is held to as ours, then when it changes or is lost, suffering inevitably arises. Form and mental phenomena are merely conditions of the mind that have been created for use, and all of these conditions are constantly changing. Emotions change, sometimes happiness, sometimes suffering, sometimes peace, sometimes restlessness. Thoughts also change. They are only voices within the mind, images within the mind, arising and disappearing continuously. Yet the mind goes and clings to these changing things, and therefore must experience suffering when what it clings to changes. Emotions then change accordingly. Joy arises, sadness arises, tears arise, and sometimes even deep suffering appears. Therefore, as long as there is still attachment to things that change, there can be no freedom from suffering. At times there is happiness, and then there is sadness so deep that one cannot eat. Lying down, tears flow. Going into the bathroom, tears flow. Secretly crying alone in different corners throughout the stages of life. We cling to things that change. We meet someone and suddenly love them, even though that person themselves can change at any moment. When they change, sadness immediately appears. Sitting alone at home crying, wanting something badly, yet the thing desired itself changes. When it does not become the way we imagined, sadness appears, anger appears, hatred appears, resentment appears. Suffering continues in this way because we cling to things that are constantly changing. We know that this body cannot remain for long. This body was born in order to break apart and dissolve, yet we still cling to things that change. We live with the feeling that the body is strong, that food tastes good, that health is good. We take pride in appearance and form. Looking at ourselves in the mirror, we cling to the belief that this is our beauty, our goodness. That is attachment to something changing. Then suddenly there is shock. A stroke happens. blood suddenly stops flowing to the brain, or there is bleeding in the brain from a ruptured blood vessel. One side of the brain stops functioning, the body becomes half paralyzed, the mouth twists, the arms and legs curl inward. Walking becomes impossible, speaking becomes impossible. There is only crying and sorrow, wondering what has happened. Everything once imagined about appearance and life no longer turns out as expected, because we were the ones thinking and clinging to those changing things themselves. When serious illness comes, one must be taken to the doctor, yet there is no money for treatment. There is struggle to sell possessions. Relatives and family members suffer along with it. In the end, even after surgery, disability remains. One becomes bedridden for the rest of life. The arms and legs grow thin and weak. The body once taken pride in deteriorates. The face once admired changes. The mouth becomes crooked. The face becomes distorted. The eyes become uneven. Everyone suffers together because they cling to changing things as though they were a self. This is what we all cling to, even though no one clearly teaches that everything is changing. This body was born in order to break apart and dissolve. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, and perception are all things that change. They are only conditions of the mind, only mental phenomena, only mental formations. Any mind that clings to form and mental phenomena remains trapped in the cycle of suffering. The Dhamma is simple, yet it is rarely taught in this way. Instead, people teach meditation in order to gain something as their own, even though the truth has always been with us. But it is not pointed out clearly that everything is not a self. Simply seeing that it thinks on its own. Simply seeing that it knows on its own. In the moment of hearing a sound, knowing arises on its own. In the moment of speaking, thoughts vibrate outward as sound. All of it happens by itself. When this is truly seen, we discover something that has never changed at all, something that exists naturally within. The moment we directly realize this, tears will flow, and we will see clearly the danger of clinging to things that change, even though what we truly are is a nature that has never changed at all. How deeply foolish we have been. At the moment I awakened to the pure essence, tears flowed. How could I have been this foolish? This is ignorance collapsing from the heart, the seeing of one's own foolishness. It sees itself as unbelievably foolish for clinging to things that change, even though what we truly are is a nature that has never changed at all. Never moving, never going anywhere, never coming from anywhere, never born, never breaking apart. We are the pure essence that has never changed, yet we create changing things in order to cling to and depend on them. How could we have been this foolish? Tears flowed. I bowed to the wise ones on the day of awakening. How did they know? No one taught them. How did they come to know? On the day awakening occurred, there was understanding that this truth had always been with us, yet why had no one taught it clearly? Then the resolve arose. From this moment onward, this truth will be shared so that everyone may know it completely. I will not allow others to remain foolish as I once was. All of this understanding will be shared openly. Every mind will come to know. This truth will be proclaimed to the world, that we are the life essence that has never changed. It is clear, it is deeply pure, yet we become lost in things that change. How could there not be suffering, becoming lost, clinging to changing things? This alone is why all minds remain trapped in the cycle of suffering. Such a simple matter, yet minds do not know it because no one has pointed it out clearly. I do not desire anything for myself. My only wish is for everyone in this world to awaken, to have spiritual strength, courage of heart, refined insight, complete understanding and realization. I want everyone to become truly excellent. I want to see the world peaceful and harmonious, filled with wisdom. I want to see every mind freed completely from suffering. I want all minds to awaken fully, so that no one clings to form or mental phenomena anymore. No one clings to changing things ever again. This is the beauty that has already been established. This truth essence will never change until the very last mind is free from the cycle, and it will continue carrying out this purpose for all living beings forever. When looking at things, we begin to see that everything can become Dhamma. We see each thing according to its own nature. We see that nature is simply carrying out its function in its own way. When we are in natural surroundings and see the wind blowing back and forth, we see that the wind blows on its own, blowing in and then passing away. These natural processes function by themselves. When we see animals running here and there, we see that they are simply doing what they naturally do. Their nature is just like that. Whatever is seen becomes Dhamma, because none of it belongs to us and none of it belongs to anyone else. It is only nature functioning on its own. When a tree is touched by the wind, it bends and sways according to the force of the wind. Looking at it, there is the seeing that nature is simply being what it is. It is not us, it does not belong to us. Leaves fall and drift away, and it is seen that the leaves are simply carrying out their function. The wind is simply carrying out its function of blowing the leaves. Looking in this way, there is beauty, lightness, openness, because everything is seen as only ordinary nature, with no self there claiming ownership of anything at all. When stepping onto the earth never says that it hurts, never refuses. It simply carries out its function, allowing all living beings to step upon it, supporting everything. Nature is simply being what it is. When things are seen according to reality, the mind gradually becomes lighter, more comfortable and more open, because it sees that everything is only nature carrying out its own function. When walking, it is seen that these legs walk on their own. This nature walks by itself. There is no need to command the right leg or the left leg. Nature functions on its own. Looking further, it is seen that the eyes see on their own. Nature performs its own function. When seeing things, it is understood that each thing is simply being what it is. The nature of living beings is to carry out their own function. The wind blows on its own. It is only nature passing through. When sitting and pain arises in the back, it is seen that the pain is simply its own natural condition. It is just like that. It is not us. When changing posture and standing up, the pain disappears, and it is seen again that nature is simply being what it is. When opening the mouth to speak, it is seen that sound functions on its own. That is the nature of sound. It is not us. Breathing happens on its own. The lungs breathe on their own. The heart beats on its own. Everything is nature functioning entirely on its own. Sound striking, the ears are naturally received on their own. Nature knows on its own. When this is truly seen, tears begin to flow, because there is direct realization that nothing is us at all. Everything is functioning entirely on its own. Tears flow on their own as well. A feeling of lightness and openness arises. Looking at anything, everything appears empty. At first, the forest, the trees, and all things appeared separate from one another. But when seen according to reality, everything became empty and open. Nothing was declaring itself to be anything at all. Everything was one. It was only nature being what it is. It could be called anything, yet in truth it belongs to no one. When nothing is given value or meaning, when nothing is possessed, there is lightness and openness, because there is no longer clinging to sound, no longer clinging to knowing, and no longer giving value or meaning to anything at all. Then it becomes clear that both form and mental phenomena, inwardly and outwardly, are not us at all. There is only nature being what it is everywhere. Both inner and outer are exactly the same, simply functioning according to their own nature. The inner nature that knows, thinks, and experiences emotions functions on its own in exactly the same way. When deep appreciation arises, tears begin to flow, because the truth of the nature that has always been present is finally seen. Looking at things, there is an understanding that everything is Dhamma. These natural processes have always been revealing the truth, but before this it was never known. No one had ever pointed out that the Dhamma exists everywhere. When looking at a pond and seeing a branch fall into the water, causing ripples to appear, it becomes clear that this is simply the nature of water. When something touches it, waves naturally arise. Then, turning inward to observe the mind, it is seen that the mind is the same. Water is not the waves, yet when disturbed, waves arise. In the same way, when there is contact, perception and mental movement arise. The mind is the same. When it is touched by conditions, sounds, thoughts and emotions arise. Then there is understanding of the nature of the mind and the conditions of the mind. It is seen clearly, this is the mind. These are the conditions of the mind or mental formations. This is mental phenomena. This is form, and this is the world of assumptions. When awakening occurs in this way, all Dhamma is understood. Everything is seen as nature being what it is. Nothing can truly be defined, given value or meaning, or called anything anymore. Even when looking at the body, it is no longer seen as arms, legs or hands. It is seen only as something carrying out its function. This is the Dhamma, merely the naturalness that has always been present. Once it is seen, understanding happens immediately. We simply see it. The Dhamma has already existed everywhere. There is no need to do anything more. Simply being natural as it already is completely whole and beautiful. If you're interested in these teachings on awakening, mind observation, and transcending suffering through wisdom, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights in the comments, provide productive feedback, and if you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.